What is going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's Pardon the Disruption. We hope that you had an amazing Thanksgiving. It has already been rowdy behind the scenes starting out. We're excited. I'm Matthew Potter. I am your host, short sale guy, hedge fund connection, as well as co-founder of the family tree over at Real Broker. Hit me up if I can help you grow your business. For those that are just tuning in for the first time, we're going to give you a breakdown of how we do things around here. We have 5 pre-selected questions. Each one of our panelists will get 45 seconds to go ahead and answer, and then 2 minutes to chop it up after that. Points are awarded based off of best argument, or honestly, whoever I'm feeling is giving me the least amount of crap today. So we'll see how that's going to go. All right, we're going to start off with intros. Starting off, Richmond VA's very own Chris Jefferson. CJ, say hi to the people.
I like that, man. I might have to dub that into my intro, man. I like that. Chris Jefferson, Richmond, VA. Happy to be here as always. Leon, it's good to see you again. RJ, Steve, I hope you guys got some sleep. Potter, what up? Looking forward to today. Charge Up University. You know the vibes, man.
Awesome. Next up, we have, I just learned this information during our pregame. We have RJ Bates' official father, Leon G. Barnes. Don't forget the G.
That would be Daddy.
Daddy, that's right, Daddy.
What's up, everyone? Leon G. Barnes. We like to have fun on this show. Obviously, you can see right out of the gates. Good to see all my friends and you too, Steve. I'm looking forward to a great show today. CJ, looking crispy down there. I see that fade. Looking good, my friend. Looking super crispy today.
Better watch out. That's that mango butter we sent that down there for. Speaking of mango butter, coming to us from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, we have the one, the only RJ Bates, this, that, and the third. Introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? RJ Bates III here from Titanium Investments. I'm excited to be back after taking a week off for Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys had a good holiday. And just surprised that CJ upgraded his software so he could be crispy, and then he shows up with all 27 inches of his forehead showing off. You would have thought he would have put a hat on. Wow. So it's going to be an exciting PTD, though.
Wow. We went there. You called it a forehead. You could have upgraded to a 5-head, man. I mean, just saying.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
That's right. Last, certainly not least, we have Mr. Disruptor himself, Steve Trang. Introduce yourself.
Steve Trang, Real Estate Disruptors, closemarcells.com. It was really refreshing to do a show last night. RJ put it together for the Al Nicoletti show. It was a lot of fun. Come to find out that Chris was not lying. He was telling the truth. His internet is actually better at night. I don't understand it. I don't understand why you can't get better internet during the day. But yeah, he looked amazing. So when it's webinar time, Chris's internet is crispy. Outside of that, I don't know exactly what he's doing.
It's when you're on that share plan, you got everybody.
Potter, you know how it goes, man.
Yeah,
you gotta monitor the data usage, bro.
you just stuck. All right.
His internet was beautiful last night.
It was pretty clean, and I will say it did not knock down the live stream on Facebook. So we appreciate that, CJ. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off with question number 1. With NBA fans seemingly pleased with the NBA's in-season tournament format established this year, what's a business move you made this year that surprised you? Start us off, CJ.
Raise my prices. Historically, I always sold my products, coaching services, for pretty low prices. And, coming into this year, we decided to drastically raise those prices. And I'd say it's the best decision I've ever made. I think that people take it more serious. I think people see more value in things they pay more money for. And it creates more intentionality when people come into the program to have them do what we're teaching. So definitely raising the price. Something I didn't think I'd ever do, what we charge now to get into the program. But it was definitely the best decision we've made so far this year.
There we go. It's a bold move, and it's paying off. All right. Leon G. Barnes, what about you?
First of all, I have to question the question because I'm not sure that NBA fans, I include myself in that group, are happy with the in-season tournament or we're fans of it. I'm still a little confused, and I think it would be much, much better if you brought in outside leagues into the team and made it a true in-season tournament. That said, in my own personal business, I would have, and Steve and I have had many conversations about property management and how much most of us hate property management, but I made a decision this year to bring in property management into my own personal business. And I'm not going to lie, I was afraid. I was shaking in my boots a little bit with that transition of taking that over. I had never, I think in four years, I had always used an outside property management service. And it's turned out to surprise me because it's been pretty smooth because of the employee that I have in that role. She's awesome. And she's also given me the opportunity to look at it from another side with a guy like Jimmy Breland of potentially turn it into a business opportunity in the future. So yeah, it's been a big surprise and a blessing.
There we go. That's a bold move, property management. Kudos to you on that one. All right, RJ, what kind of bold moves you making?
On Leon's point there with the NBA in-season tournament, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I really liked the unique course that they brought. So from another fan's perspective, I did like it, Leon. As far as business goes, a couple of things. I did not come into this year thinking I was going to do another 50 deals, 50 states, 50 days challenge. That was a great move for us as a business. It put me back in the seat as a player. And coming from that really refined our processes, so much so that then joining the family mastermind, coming out of that, after 3 years, we changed our entire education program from the Titanium Crucible to the Closers Formula. And it's been a great journey for us. We see the need of people needing to learn how to close deals virtually across the country. There's so much that goes into it. It's not just about closing. It's about comping and underwriting and understanding the different markets across the country. And we've been able to reach so many more people because of that. And all of that was a complete shock to me.
There we go. No surprise that RJ is a fan of this in-season tournament, considering the fact he is basketball's #1 hockey fan. So we got that going for us. All right, Steve, what about you?
The biggest surprise for me was that we all committed as an organization to be a sales training first and foremost for 2024. I went to the ClickFunnels event because Chris tricked me into going. And while I was there, I saw an ocean of opportunity. We do really well on the real estate side. And as great as we do on the real estate side, I see this whole marketing world and how much help they need. It's the people that really thrive in the marketing world have a different skill set than people that run real estate businesses. And they need sales training way more than the people that buy houses. So I see a huge opportunity there. And so I think the biggest surprise was that we, as an organization, pivoted to harder to sales, and closemoresales.com is going to be huge in 24.
On that note, Steve, with you bringing up that the marketing world needs sales, the real estate investing education world needs better marketing. And CJ talks about this all the time, about how he identifies now as an internet marketer.
Yo,
This guy's crazy, man.
I swear to God, that's a quote of yours.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's how I identify, bro.
Yeah.
Here comes that mature rating.
I mean,
Shout out to Steve Trang, bro.
This world does need it, though. I mean, I just brought on someone for marketing for our education, and he essentially went through our entire industry and kind of laughed and said, the real estate investing education world is kind of in archaic times. So it's funny that you feel like the marketing world struggles on sales, and they feel like we struggle on the marketing side.
I mean, CJ has been screaming this from the mountaintops. Like every time someone says wholesale off the MLS, I think Chris rolls in his grave, right? Like I think it just drives him absolutely bonkers. So yeah, I think that the marketing side is, because who's doing it well, right? Those New Reach who's running Pace and Jamil's campaigns. Chris, I think that's the whole list. I think that's the whole list.
No, I mean, I'll comment on that real quick. I think that Steve's point is accurate, and I think RJ's point is accurate when it comes to, coaches, influencers in the real estate space. What's happened is in 2020, it wasn't that common for somebody to be shooting reels, shooting educational content, things of that nature. When COVID happened, everybody got a ring light and a camera and became a content person when it came to this industry. And what's been missed in that is that there's actual marketing required to make it a business. And a lot of people are just shooting videos, shooting content, throwing it up and thinking that's going to create a business. And it just unfortunately doesn't necessarily.
I can't wait until Leon gets a ring light and starts dancing and pointing like Sam Brown. I am looking forward to that day.
Man, you're gonna have to get me really drunk, and I don't really drink like that. So
that'd be the best. That would be the biggest surprise for 2023. We can make that happen.
Did anyone else during Leon's answer realize that if Leon ever wore a cowboy hat, and when he said that had me shaking in my boots, he would be Woody from Toy Story?
Hey,
was anyone else surprised that the hockey guy said his favorite thing about professional basketball was the way the courts were painted? Anybody else surprised by that?
It was cool.
The one I hate, so I actually enjoy the in-season tournament. The one thing I hate about the in-season tournament is the courts. That's probably the thing I hate the most about it.
I actually like that they've differentiated. That has helped fans understand that it's an in-season tournament game. But I'm always looking at where could they have made this better. And this is their first year, so I know that they want to hear. I've got a bat phone into the New York offices, and
Adam Silver. Yep.
The first thing that I would say is you take the top two teams from the biggest leagues, EuroLeague, NBA, and you figure out a way to put those top 2 or 3 teams in that tournament and do it no different than European soccer does. Now you're working with something that has legs.
Yeah, no one cares about other countries.
What can I say?
No one cares about the other countries.
Sure,
hey, be easy over there.
Where's the best players in the NBA coming from right now?
And they're staying in the NBA because they're not good over there.
Right, but think if you could have seen Luka at 17 in that tournament versus LeBron at 17.
Hey, did you see that Luka pass? Did you see that Luka pass through LeBron's legs, Chris? That was an incredible pass.
That's I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I gotta look for that.
Go check it out on Bleacher Report.
Megged him for sure.
Outstanding. All right, I'm going to take this one to the chat. And RJ is starting off with his VAs today, voting feverishly. Point to RJ Bates III.
So we're going back old school voting, apparently.
Yeah, baby.
Nope. Hey, I'm just bringing it back to something familiar for you guys right out of the gate. Yeah,
Bring
there
Weasel
we go.
back.
All right. Negative points for Steve, per usual. Here we go. All right. Question number 2 for today. What are you thankful for this year? Here we go. There better be some good answers here. All right. Start us off, RJ.
I'm going to go with all the people closest to me in my life, including each one of you guys on this panel. You guys have actually become, friends of mine. Different points of time that I've had conversations with each of you about different things going on just in life, business. The beginning of this year was hard for me. I was in a rut with everything that went on with the TV show and just everything like that. That was mentally exhausting for me. I didn't think it would be, or it was. And then outside of that, just other people in this industry that I, quite frankly, didn't have any sort of relationship with previously, but because of opportunities that have come, I've established more friendships with and opportunities that have grown. So really for me, just this year, when I look back, it'll be all of the people that came into my life that have laid a foundation for what the future looks like moving forward.
Wow.
Love that, dude. When's the Hallmark special coming out? Let's go. PTD on Hallmark Channel.
Right.
All right, Steve, what about you?
I'm going to say a lot of the same thing. When we started PTD a year and a half, 2 years ago, it wasn't, just expecting this kind of be like some goofy show. Let's see if this lasts, see how it goes, whatever. And we've all created incredible bonds, right? I think I've developed stronger friendships with everyone except for Jimmy. I think Jimmy is just an outcast, so just leave him over here. But everyone else created better friendships with. I'll give something else too, and might be kind of weird, but like I want to say about 10 seconds away from getting T-boned, right? Like someone ran a red light the other day, and it's like you know, like your life flashes before your eyes, right? So it was me, Emily in the backseat, and then Vivian and Amelia in the car. So it was me and my 3 girls. Like I am thankful for, like, you know, sometimes you just gotta be thankful when, you know, bad things don't happen. And just watching someone just fly through a red light at an intersection right before I got to it is like, you know, you can only think of, you know, horrible thoughts. So I'm incredibly thankful, really, to be here and be here with all you guys.
Damn. We're going to go into the feelings bag on this one. All right, CJ, what about you? You got to take it up a notch. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think those are all great points, really. For me, I'm really thankful for like opportunities to fail. You know, I'm constantly in my life just trying to seek out failure in different ways. And in growing a business, you know, we kind of talked about this. I mentioned this a little bit last night. Like failure is just a part of that, and so I'm constantly trying to seek it out. And I'm thankful that we can find it, absorb it, make adjustments, make changes, and keep fighting and climbing, you know, to the levels that we're trying to get things to in different ways. And some people, you know, when I think about that, like some people can't say that. Like some people, one failure, one thing going the wrong way can just wipe you out. It could just completely crush your business. So I'm thankful to be able to absorb things and keep going.
There we go. All right. Next up, Leon, what about you? What are you thankful for this year?
Man, I'm blown away. I thought RJ was actually going to shed a tear. It would have been a first in his life, I think. I'm very thankful for a lot of the things. Obviously, we're all thankful to be alive. You know, to be alive at this time. You know, with all of the resources we have available to us. You know, as human beings, it's an unbelievable time to be alive. And I'm going to go along the lines of what, you know, RJ and Steve said in regards to family and friends. I count my friends, including all of you guys, as family. And I'm so thankful that the people that I surround myself with, I don't have anyone that tears me down. Those people don't necessarily stay around long. Because I'm someone that's always, you know, trying to build others up, and I require the same from others. The word can't doesn't, it's not in our vocabulary. And I think that we talk a lot about being in a community, regardless of what community you're in. Surround yourself with people that empower you, and that when you're having those bad days, can give you that little bit of a bump that you need. Because honestly, all of us are pretty successful on this show. But, you know, as humans, there are days that we have bad days as well. And surrounding yourself, I'm thankful that I have a community that is always helping me continue to excel instead of building me up instead of down.
Yeah, and just to add on top of that, what Leon said, I love the opportunity to tear RJ down. Like, I'm really thankful for that. So last night, RJ was upset because I was saying he was a closer, not a cleaner. Like he's been screaming from the mountaintops like he's a closer. So I was like, yeah, he's not a cleaner. And he kept this look right here. He kept giving this look last night on Facebook. I don't know why. It's like, you're not a cleaner. You're a closer. Like, what? I don't understand.
On that note, Steve, I was going to say,
Here we go.
You talked about, you know, avoiding that car wreck. Last Tuesday, I had a live on my YouTube channel scheduled with Carlos Reyes, and I ordered lunch like an hour before. First bite I took of the shrimp, which is what I ordered for lunch, got stuck in my esophagus. And I was literally choking in the front yard of our office for 45 minutes straight. And it was one of those moments where, like, I was actually frightened at different points in time where I'm like, dude, am I about to have to go to the hospital? Mm-hmm. I've done it one other time in my life on a piece of steak, and it was just so scary. Then eventually it fixed itself. I just carried on with my day. But it was one of those things of like, man, you never know when your time's going to get called. So being thankful for every single moment that we have is just something that we take for granted.
I'm going to tell you, RJ, what I tell my 11-year-old son. Slow down. Chew your food, man. You can't just swallow king prawns.
Cut it into smaller bites.
Viking bites, man. Viking bites.
It was
Slow
great.
down.
Viking
Listen,
bites.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine the funeral. Like, man, like what happened? What got RJ?
A shrimp.
Not even a king prawn. A shrimp.
Long John Silver's got RJ.
Long John Silver's, bro.
Long John Silver.
Silver's, bro. LJS almost took out RJ Bates, dude. JB.
I'm just saying, if that would have happened, Justin would have given my eulogy and saying, "It's all karma, Dad. It's all karma."
All right, I got to ask real quick because this is something I have to know. Everyone's favorite Thanksgiving dish. Like, what's your go-to Thanksgiving? Since we're talking about what we're thankful for, last week being Thanksgiving, one thing that is your go-to.
Man, can we also give the one that we wish would go away?
Sure.
Turkey, bro. Turkey sucks. I don't understand why. It's just no.
It's in the pictures.
Yeah, no turkey on my plate this year, man. Mac and cheese, man. You got to have the right mac and cheese. 100%.
Can't be everybody's mac and cheese though.
Nah. It can't be RJ's mac and cheese, bro. It just can't, man. It just can't. that Velveeta ain't what we eat over here, man. That Kraft, brother. You know, we don't do all that stuff over here, man. Yo, shout out to salt and pepper and seasoning for sure. But what I will say, shout out to seasoning for sure, man. But but potato souffle too, man, with the roasted marshmallows on top. If you don't know, get in touch with somebody.
That's it. That's
of
the
a
one.
certain hue, and what will put you on game, man.
That's the one. Sweet potatoes with marshmallows broiled on the top. That's the go-to.
Yes, sir.
Steve doesn't have one.
I was gonna say that could have been question number 6. I think Matt's lost control of the show. If we got to answer this question, for me, it's just pumpkin pie. I don't care about anything else. I just need my pumpkin pie.
That could have been a worse answer. Pumpkin pie is a good one.
I don't think there's a lot of answers that are worse than that, though. Let's be honest, Leon.
I know, man. Pumpkin pie is pretty good.
I don't know.
It's kind of there with turkey, man.
Man,
Really?
I'm gonna have to invite all y'all to our
everything
house.
I said about Pardon the Disruption and being thankful for you guys, like this, delete that from the episode. We're getting a new group of people that like pumpkin pie. Like that's gonna be in the interview.
We need RJ to edit that.
You're clearly not fans of Thanksgiving if you don't like turkey and pumpkin pie. Come on,
you guys are heartless.
Yeah, I don't know. The right side of my screen over here, I'm gonna have to Control-Alt-Delete them, restart them over here.
My man says, "Shout out to seasoning."
Yo. All right, just for the shout out to seasoning, I'm gonna throw the points to CJ on that salt and pepper and the shout out to seasoning. All right, we're gonna get into question number 3 now. I'm interested to see what you guys got to say about this one. Is Aaron Rodgers returning too fast an example of toxic work and culture? Start us off, CJ.
No, I think Zach Wilson as your quarterback is a toxic work culture, man. I mean, I think that, you know, when Aaron Rodgers went down in the first game of the season, this team became completely deflated. You've got Garrett Wilson, who's a complete stud at wideout, who hasn't had any opportunity to showcase himself this year. I think the team is going to rally behind Aaron coming back. I don't know that it makes sense for him. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, probably the thought I would think maybe is this is probably his last shot. And he probably wants to go out playing. And I can't ever knock anybody for that. I think it's going to rally the locker room. I don't think they've got playoff chances still, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it'll be good for team morale in the long term going into the offseason. And that means a lot, too.
There we go. All right. 1 vote for not toxic. All right, Leon, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the complete opposite. If you watch Hard Knocks, he was, the culture that he set and working with the young players, they were on the up and up until 2 plays into the season. And I also think this is greatness, and this can be related back to business. When you have, high level performers within your organization, they're just different. They're cut from a different cloth. And you have to rally behind them. You have to treat them a little bit differently. As Jimmy Johnson used to say, I'm going to treat you all fair, but not equal. I think Aaron is he's a Hall of Famer. That's what he is. And this is him saying, I'm going to prove that, he's big on natural medicine versus, big pharma, which, by the way, he works for. Johnson and Johnson is who owns the Jets, but this is Aaron being Aaron and a Hall of Famer just saying, I'm going to make it back. So I think it's the complete opposite of toxic.
There we go. Inspirational, if you will. All right, RJ, what about you?
Yeah, what the kind of snowflake question is this? This question definitely was written by Steve Trang. That's all I'm saying.
100%.
This right here proves right here Steve Trang voted for Joe Biden. This question.
Whoa.
Joe Biden is Steve Trang's president because of this question right here. Okay.
You back off of Biden. He said nothing
it's
wrong.
Not a toxic work culture. No, this is a sign of the man cares about his team and his teammates and his legacy, and he worked his ass off to get back to be the leader that he was meant to be for this organization. The reason why he is a part of the New York Jets. I don't think there's anything toxic about this whatsoever. I think it's inspirational, like someone else said. Your turn, Snowflake.
Yes, of course it is
amazing.
toxic work culture. Of course it is.
All right. To Steve.
So, no, it's not an example of toxic work culture. But what it is an example of is all these guys are working too hard. So we actually talked about this last night on Al's show, right? The rest of us, we go too hard. We don't know how to slow down. We don't know how to take it easy. We don't know what to do with ourselves when the thing we care most about isn't available to us. Whether you're on vacation or you're doing something else, like you just want to get back to work. And I think that's what this is an example of. This is an example of being, I say workaholic, but not with negative connotation, but that's just kind of how we are. We're wired to keep going, going, and going. We don't know how to slow down. RJ, for you, right? This is what a cleaner looks like. Right, someone that's going to do what they have to do to get the job done. So I think he's being a role model specifically for RJ to inspire him.
Let's see. My question is, why are you thinking that this is because he works too hard?
Why else are your season's over? Why are you risking yourself? Like the reasons to come back from an Achilles injury when your season's over. Ooh. There's no benefit. There's no upside. Your team sucks.
Yeah, there is, man. It's at the end of the day, every night we all got to go to sleep, regardless of everything else in our lives, regardless of our children, family, significant others, everything. And we got to settle up with ourselves on where we feel like we're at, on what we set out to do. And what I see is somebody that's like, to come back from an Achilles tear within 18 weeks is like, I mean, I think it's unheard of, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I don't know somebody else that's come back that fast from
the
this.
Fastest Terrell Suggs.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Terrell Suggs did come back like crazy. I think he went to the same doctor as Terrell Suggs, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But like, I think he's just proving to himself who he believes that he is, and I think there's something to be said for that.
Well, if
something
you
to
look
be said
back
that,
at the
for
history,
what?
But if you look back at the history, two things. Number one, he was an underdog coming out. He was, passed over by his hometown team in San Francisco 49ers, and they picked Alex Smith with the number 1 overall pick. So he automatically had a chip on his shoulder, and he went to a team with a Hall of Fame quarterback where he had to sit for years, right? Then when he left that organization, what's the biggest thing they questioned? They questioned him being a part of the team and they were talking about retirement and all these things. So as a Hall of Fame level talent, again, I'm going back to business. This is something that he wants to prove this, not to anyone other than himself. Now, with that comes quieting all the doubters, right? But this is about him wanting to prove something, especially, remember, if you've ever heard him on any of the podcasts with McAfee, he talks a lot about natural healing remedies and things of that nature. And so this is another shot against vaccinations and things like that he was big against. So there's a lot of different factors of why he's doing this, not just
So
one.
my point is that his season's over. However, a counterpoint, Matt, do you remember that house we went to when I was on crutches?
Yeah.
You remember why I was on crutches?
Achilles.
I tore my Achilles tendon, right? So I was
Yep.
recovering from an Achilles injury. So I get a call from a lead, and she's like, "Hey, I want to sell my house." I was like, shoot. Well, I need to go, but I am literally defenseless, right? I'm on crutches. I can't even walk. Call Potter. Hey, you want to go with me on this appointment just in case anything crazy happens? We bought the house, right? It was a great deal, but going to a house with a Achilles tendon that was recently put together, that was a lot of fun.
Let me get this straight. Mr. Snowflake said that he was defenseless. Like, you brought a bodyguard with you?
You see, Matt, he looks a lot tougher than a guy on crutches.
Didn't you just say last night you got like a black belt in jiu-jitsu or something?
You have a weapon. You have crutches.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
one dog jumps on you on crutches. How are you guys doing?
All 2 grams of respect I had for you just went away, bro.
Okay. So when I talk about the reason not to come back is that it's really easy to re-rupture the Achilles when it's been reattached.
Of course.
Right? That's the reason why I say that. And that's the reason why I had a bodyguard with me.
Steve's got the PTSD. He's got the PTSD. It's still fresh in his mind. I remember that.
Deal, though. That was one of those deals I wish we had more often. Hey, I want to sell my house for 25% of market value. Can you come over?
Yes.
This whole question was written so Steve could tell us about the time that he tore his Achilles and went off on the contract. That's what this question was about.
Yo.
Bro, I'm just imagining Steve pulling up to somebody's house on crutches. He probably went old school, like bandage over the shoe, you know, like over the clothing, you know,
looking like a water moccasin.
Yeah. And
he put fake blood on.
Yeah, dude. Like, can you please sell me your house, please?
This is a Kurt Schilling incident, right? I showed up with a bloody sock.
Remember, though, he had to turn out of the car like this, set his legs out on the street, and then grab Potter's hands, have Potter lift him up.
No.
Oh,
Hey,
bro.
come on now. I had his wife drive him there. I met
stop it. I met Potter at the house. Stop.
Oh man. Yeah, shout out to Handicap Steve though, man.
But that's the workaholic component I'm talking about, right? Like, I think this is a sign that we don't know how to stop. We don't know when to slow down. I should have just handed off that lead to someone else.
I would have been out there on crutches too, but I'm a lunatic, man.
You know, I would just, in this particular case, last point here, I would just argue that that's his job. His job right now is to rehab to get back. He just happens to be doing it a little faster than usual, but that's his job. He's not doing anything extraordinary. He's trying to get back to get on the court and or on the field, and he's being paid for it handsomely.
Well,
by Johnson & Johnson.
By Johnson.
If that lead had called in, I would have closed it plus 3 more before Steve even got to the house because I know how to close that phone. That's it.
Yo. All right. On that round, I don't know if everybody saw it, but Leon, can you give me the crutch shuffle, the Steve crutch? There we go. That right there is your winner. That's your winner right there.
He said, "What would I do if the dog jumped on me? You got 2 crutches. Get the dog off you, man."
You guys have way stronger senses of balance than I do.
I don't know. Steve definitely is. He's stable as a tree, consistent as a tree now these days. It must be his forged friendship with Mr. Viking over there. All right. Before we get into question number 4, quick word from one of our sponsors. Steve and the folks at Sales Disruptors are extending their epic Black Friday sale until this weekend. For $17, you can sign up for Steve's community. That's over $10,000 worth of value from his courses, coaching calls, resources, the whole works, all at that low price. So pretty much your first month is 80% off, and you're getting all of this. So go to salesdisruptors.com/Black Friday and take advantage now. All right, question number 4, gentlemen. Oh, this one should be great. Should you hire family members or close personal friends to work for your business? Start us off, Leon.
Yes, you should, with one caveat. You should, if you put them through the exact same hiring process that you would put a normal employee through. Vetting them properly will allow you to understand if you are hiring them for the right seat. Wrong butt, wrong seat. I don't care if they're a family member or not, isn't going to work. So if you put them through the exact same hiring process, I've seen it work at a super high level. We have tons of members within the Collective Genius that have brothers and sisters and husbands and wives that are working together, very family-oriented businesses that thrive. But if I've seen it go awry, it's typically because they go, I'm going to hire my brother because he's my brother and he's unemployed, and I'm going to put him in acquisitions when he has no business in acquisitions. So the answer is yes, with the caveat of putting them through a normal hiring process.
Beautiful. Treat them exactly the same, no different. That's the way it should be. All right, RJ, what about you?
I think you should hire whoever's the best person for the job. So if it's a family member or a close friend and they're the most qualified candidate for the job, then yes, you should hire them. I don't think you should intentionally try to only hire or go out specifically to hire a family member and close friend just to hire a family member or create a position for a family member and close friend. I think it should be the business need is there. You are hiring. And like Leon said, put them through the process. If they are the best candidate, then yes, you should hire them.
All right. Steve, what about you? You hiring family and friends?
Well, it hasn't worked yet. Now, I can't say I've done it correctly. So bringing in my wife, that didn't work because she's in charge at home. So you can't hold her accountable at the office because you're going to hear about it at home. And then with my dad, I thought he'd be an excellent realtor. That didn't work out. So we learned a lesson, and we had my brother go through the entire process like Leon suggested. Right? We did the PI, we did the screening call, we did the interviews and all this and that. That didn't work either. So I'm sure there's a good answer. I'm sure there's a way to make it work. I have not figured that out. So for me, I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but probably not doing it again.
So what we've learned is Trang Holdings is just Steve Trang Holdings. That's what that is right there. All right, CJ, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Nah, Trang Holdings sounds crazy. I like that. No, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think so personally. If they're the right person for the job, I mean, I agree with what Leon and RJ said. But I mean, I enjoy peace and peace of mind. And there's already enough to worry about. I think that's an additional layer of expectations and feelings and emotions you got to deal with on things like that. So, I mean, if they're the best fit, then yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but they've got to really be a great fit. It's not like we're trying to, it's not like RJ, right? Like, it's not like you wear a size 4 shoe and you're trying to squeeze your foot into a 3, and trying to make it work. Shout out to the people with small feet, man. Shout out to them.
What?
Shout out to RJ, man. Shout out to RJ in the kids section at Foot Locker, man. But it's gotta make sense, and it's gotta make a lot of sense. I mean, you want to see somebody at home, and you got to see them all day too. I don't know, man. That could get stressful.
It's kind of like what they talk about in Cypher, right? George Costanza is like, you got the girlfriend world, you got the friend world, and never shall the two meet.
I like George Costanza, man.
Yeah.
It's a great show right there too.
I think what CJ, to add to what I said earlier, there's another layer there that you have to have some robust dialogue. You have to have some upfront conversations about the way. It's just no different than when I'm coaching my son in basketball. It's like, hey, I'm going to be harder on you because I'm coaching you, because that's the standard. That people have to know that I'm not giving you unfair treatment, right? So you have to have that dialogue up front, and your family member or your friend is not okay with that, then it's probably not the right fit. I have seen it go both ways. Steve's right. It is not easy. I have had situations where I have a rock star employee that comes to me and says, hey, my husband would be great at this role. And I simply say, look, if that person up front, if your husband is as great as he says he is, he'll be here for a very long time. But if he doesn't work out, we end up hiring him, he doesn't work out, then just know that I'm not losing you because he can't get the job done. So if you're willing to go through that, then we can have that conversation. So you've got to have some different level conversations to set proper expectations up front when hiring friends and family.
But Leon, think about, like, we've had conversations about this, right? Like, you guys could be the best of friends, and then we partner up, and then after the partnership ends, it's just not the same.
Yeah,
I mean,
double
doesn't-
that.
Never the same. Never
the same.
Oh, wait.
I mean, couldn't the same thing happen after you fire?
Yes. That's why you
family.
have that conversation up front.
But partnership is different than hiring.
Employee.
This is saying, would you hire? I think that's
No, it's totally different. I'm just saying it's totally different. I get that. I'm just asking, do you run the risk of the similar outcome?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, we hired Cassie's mom to work for us. She worked for us for several years, and then she decided to go a different career path. It didn't work out bad because she's not with us any longer. We've also hired friends, especially when we were new entrepreneurs. I think this is more of one of those questions about, like, hey, I'm new as an entrepreneur and I have someone willing to work for me. You know, that's rare, especially in a new company. This is where you get those family and friends. I think that's where you have to be careful that you're just hiring because it's a warm body to fill a seat and it's not necessarily the right fit. Those are the mistakes that we made early on, where it was just anybody that was willing to work for us, we were willing to take.
A great example of what you're talking about there, RJ, is at our select level, people that are doing, 4 or 5 deals a month, are looking to get to double that. A lot of them start out with, like a retired, father, mother that is doing letters and direct mail and things like that. And they know it's a temporary thing. And they've had, again, those conversations of, hey, I'm going to handle this for the first, 2 years of the business. Again, you've had that conversation up front and set expectations. It's crucial that you do that.
There we go. All right. On this round, gonna go ahead and award points to CJ and Steve on this one, actually, for pretty much splitting the same answer. RJ, don't make that face, dude, or, it ain't gonna happen, bro. Like, I swear to God, I will send some Long John Silvers to you, and it'll be there before the end of the show. You better calm down, Cassie. Give me the address for Uber Eats.
I agree with Strat Daddy. The only reason why you gave Steve a point right now is because he likes people that are vaccinated. He'll only hire you if you're vaccinated.
Bro, get out of here.
Stratton's no longer on the show.
Yeah.
He's off the bench. He got cut. He doesn't know yet, but he got cut.
He's going to go back to the CBS network at 1 a.m. games. That's where he's going to be.
Yeah, go do some color commentary at the Fresno State game. Get out of here.
He's trying to rush for 25 yards against the NFL line right now.
Exactly. He's trying to blast through. All right. Real quick before we get to our next question, another word from another one of our sponsors. This episode of Pardon the Disruption is sponsored by the Family Tree of Real Broker. If you are looking to make a change in your real estate business, check out therealfamilytree.com and schedule your collaboration call with us. We will help you grow your real estate business. All right. Next up, we have, let's see what our next question will be. We have question number 5. Over the weekend, Nardo Wick's security guard beat up a fan trying to take a picture with the artist. How should you react as a business owner if someone in your organization mistreats a customer? Start us off, CJ.
Somebody in your business mistreats a customer, you fire them immediately. I think that, and I've experienced this recently, right? I think sometimes people forget when they're in a service-based business and how important customer service is, how important it is when you interact with your customers. And oftentimes what happens is sometimes we get so caught up in who we are or what we're doing or what we've accomplished over time that we forget that we offer services to clients in many ways. And if this guy's a musician, right? I think RJ came up with this question. If this guy's a musician, right? Somebody who's buying his music, somebody who's supporting him, coming to his concert, that's a customer, right? And he's in a service-based business in a way where, yes, he's an artist and being creative, but people are paying him for something. and interacting with people is a part of that. So yeah, I think you fire them ASAP.
Yes, this was RJ's question. It originally had jelly roll in it, but we updated it.
Yeah, shout out to Jelly Roll, man. Yeah, RJ kind of looks like Jelly Roll. That's crazy.
Oh my
Yo.
God. Wow.
Crazy. I just caught that, man. Let's tat him up, Cassie.
Bro.
RJ with hockey face tats, man. Hockey stick face tats.
Someone mute him.
All right. Next up, Leon G. Barnes. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm happy that I know who this is, because had it not happened here in Tampa, that's where this incident happened, I would not know who that artist was. So that tells me I'm getting old. I have the same answer as CJ with one exception. We had the video of this incident. Bodyguard beat the kid up pretty bad. And the artist came out and apologized and is doing all kinds of things, obviously, for the fan and his family, and trying to, offset a lawsuit. But in that particular case, we had all the facts. I have to have all the facts. If I have vetted and I have a team member that's been with me for a significant amount of time, and I trust that individual, before I terminate, I have to make sure that I have all the facts. Is there a recorded call? Are there witnesses to the event? Because I know the saying is the customer is always right, but we also know in certain situations, customers can be in the wrong. So I just want all the facts. I want to make sure that I vet the situation first. And if there was an incident that broke core values, then you terminate immediately after you know the facts.
There we go. The in-depth dive, per usual, by Leon. We appreciate it.
Need information, man, to make decisions.
Hey, you're always the most informed on the panel. That we know for a fact. All right, RJ. What about you? I know you're chomping over here. You're ready to answer. What you got?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting question because it says mistreats a customer. And as someone that was a manager in customer service for 8+ years, there's a lot of different variations of mistreating a customer, right? It could be miscommunication. Hey, they said something the wrong way. They offended somebody by saying something. This is where having like an employee handbook and having like an actual HR process on how you handle these situations. Some situations are going to be, hey, we're writing you up for this, or this is your one warning on doing this. If it's something to the degree of, hey, it's potentially, threatening to the future of the business, like obviously laying hands on someone, then yes, it should be fired. But I think, as a business owner, you need to make preparations on the different levels of how things can be escalated. Not everything should lead to immediate termination just because someone was quote unquote mistreated.
Could you imagine RJ as the head of HR?
Yeah, I was just thinking about RJ as a customer service, like manager and customer service. Could you imagine him being the guy that's got to take the escalated call when you got a problem? It's
Hello, this is RJ. What's your complaint?
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
No, what I have been jelly roll and apparently have small feet, which is not okay. See that? It's not small, all right?
Yeah, RJ. Somebody just texted
food.
me on the
Calm down.
side. Somebody DM me on IG and say you're stuffing your boots, man. Putting tissue in your boots, man.
Yo, all right, Steve, what are your thoughts?
So I think it really comes down to the magnitude of the situation, right? I think RJ and Leon gave some really thoughtful answers. You got to figure out and investigate what exactly are we talking about here. And generally speaking, I will default to the side of my team member, right? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So I don't figure out exactly what's going on, because if a client is upset, but our guys didn't do anything wrong, I'm going to leave with my guy. If the client got extremely disrespectful and says some things that cross the line, I'm going to have a learning opportunity conversation with my team member. If is a situation like apparently alleged in this video not only are we going to fire the guy, we're going to have security escort him out. So it really depends on the magnitude. But all in all, if you look at like the top companies that operate, they lean on the side of it's not customers always right. We treat our team members well. We treat our team members respectfully, knowing that that will translate to treating customers well, right? But this whole thing of the customer is always right, I don't know exactly when that started, but that's not the reality. We want them to feel right, but they are definitely not always right.
My theory on the customer is always right is this started in the customer service industry, restaurants, bars, things like that. And the theory was we're not going to have high level employees and we're pretty, low cost on whatever our food is, our beverages. Customer's always right. So if they complain, just give it to them. That way, the low quality employee we have, we're not trusting you to think on your feet. Just give it to the customer and move on. That's my theory.
Did the head of HR just call his employees low quality? Is that what I just heard?
I don't necessarily think it's a matter of the customer always being right, but just the context of the video, right? You got a kid who's walking up on an artist that it seems like paid to see, all right? And he's trying to solicit or get an autograph. I think we've all been there. I mean, as excited as, RJ gets talking about random hockey people, that he bumps into, I think he got a picture with one of them. It's like, that's normal, right? Like people are going to do that. Like if you're known, if you're famous, I don't know if anybody's ever walked up and wanted to get a picture with RJ or not, but when people know who you are and want to get a picture, that comes with it, right? The people that are employed by you, your bodyguards that are there to protect you, they should have awareness of what that looks like. They should be aware of how to analyze if this person's a threat or not. In the video I saw, I only watched it once, but the kid wasn't walking up like he was some sort of threat in any shape or form. So I'm not making the point that the customer's always right. I'm making the point that in business, when we're offering services to people, we should be aware of customer expectations, and we should be aware if we're meeting those expectations or not.
Well, going back
I did take a picture with RJ in Tampa, and Cassie tried to hug me. Like I wasn't sure that was mistreatment. I was very concerned for my safety.
Yeah. To add to what you said, Steve, on trusting our employees, I can tell you from experience, when you have put people through a vetting process and you really trust that they are high level and they're going to do the job the right way, there's no better way to build culture, the right culture, when employees know you as an owner or an executive within the company always have their back first. That doesn't mean they didn't do anything wrong, but when you have their back, they will run through brick walls for you. And generally, to RJ's point, they won't make bad decisions unless provoked by something that a customer said that was, honestly, more than likely in the wrong.
All right. That was a good round there. We're going to go ahead and give it to Mr. Size 4s over there. Mr. RJ Bates. This, that, and the third.
Little fella.
The size 3s. This, that, and the size 3s.
You don't even make size 3s. It's not a name.
Youth.
How do you know, RJ? How do you know?
Oh man, this is great. All right, hey, we're coming down. We have question number 6. I'm excited for this one. This one's a tiebreaker. Who knows? Maybe I pull out the 5-pointer out of the bag. I don't know yet. We're gonna see how this goes. Let's just incite chaos. As a business owner, how do you feel about Elon's remark to all the corporations that stop posting on X and they stop spending advertising money, essentially telling them he can't be blackmailed with money? Start us off, RJ.
It's funny because you started this by saying, let's have chaos in this. This kind of reminds me of that scene in The Dark Knight with Joker when he lights all the money on fire. He's like, I'm an agent of chaos. It's kind of like what Elon Musk is doing right now. He's like, you cannot buy me. I listen, the guy's at the point right now where he's going to do whatever he wants to do. And it seems like he's constantly, on this show, it's like once a month where we have an Elon Musk question. It's like Elon Musk and the NBA are fighting for the most frequently asked questions on Pardon the Disruption. He finds a way to keep his name in the news, even when nothing really that important's happening in his world. So I think it's just kind of a marketing ploy where he's like, okay, take your money. You can't buy me. I'll just make my own little advertisement by being an agent of chaos.
There we go. Size 4 answers, everybody. Size 4 answers. All right, Steve, what about you?
So I don't think this is the right decision. I don't think this is the right best for the shareholders, but I love it, right? Like I would love to be at a point where I can light $44 billion on fire or whatever his investment is into Twitter, because that's what he's doing. The value of the company is directly tied to the amount of revenue you bring in, and the revenue in from Twitter comes from the advertisements, right? So I love that he's a bastion for free speech. I love that he can speak his mind. I love everything he's doing, but I don't think he's being a fiduciary to his shareholders. I don't think he's taking care of the people that he's supposed to take care of in that regard. He's got a bigger purpose. I love what he's doing. I just can't say it's necessarily the right thing.
Uh-oh. I think Elon is finally falling out of favor for Steve. I think his man crush is over on him.
No, man crush is still there.
There we go. Fantastic. Steve's reaffirming his love. All right, CJ, what about you?
I mean, guy seems a little unhinged at the moment. I mean, let's be realistic. I know Steve's a fan. I was once a big Elon guy as well, but I don't know that he's been doing very much of anything as of late that's made a lot of sense. It's just not being seen. To make that statement at his level, he's got FU money, right? So he's entitled to do that. He could do that. I like that about it. Being able to say what you want when you want. I get that, but that's not his role. That's not what he should be doing. He's got to answer to shareholders. That's the way he set up his business. He didn't decide to keep it private. That's the job that he's got. That's the position that he's in. I think he's completely tanked Twitter in the last 12 months. I guess you would call it X now. And I think by the end of 2024, all the Elon supporters are going to be out of straws to grasp at telling us how much of a genius he still is. Because it's not maybe that he's not, but he's just not operating it anymore. And I think at some point that's got to be said.
There we go. Harsh reality. All right, Leon, what are your thoughts?
I think one day Elon is going to have a press conference and he's going to pull off a mask, and underneath that mask is going to be Kanye.
Yeah.
If you look at a graph of Kanye and Elon of their stock, you put them right side by side at the beginning of their careers, and they were both labeled geniuses and had some hits out of the gates. Like Kanye's first couple of albums were fire, right? Elon could do no wrong, and people start labeling you a genius, and it's almost like that genius turns into mad scientist. I don't actually, I'm not that smart. I'm not that intelligent. I don't speak genius. I know there's a method there. I'm not sure it's the right one. But when you have that type of money and that type of intelligence, I think sometimes you try things. And in today's culture, he knows that even making a statement like that, he's going to lose certain investors, but also certain advertisers for X. But he's probably also going to attract other people with free speech, agendas, right? He's probably going to lose some and gain some. I can't say that it's sane, but it's hard to explain other than to me, his stock continues to go down. Can't explain.
So I had the opportunity to be at an event where one of Elon's right-hand guys was speaking and talking about some of the stories. And I really think Elon really hasn't changed. The difference is now he has a larger magnifying glass on him, right? He's been crazy for a long time. It's just now a lot more visible. So again, like listening to some of the stories, it's just maddening to see how he makes some of these decisions, because he makes bold decisions with some pretty significant risk. And then the other thing too is that I look at this as an aspirational thing. I look forward to the day where I can't be canceled. There are things I can't say today. I can't, because I have payroll. I got people I got to pay. I got people that depend on me. I love that Elon's in that realm of Dave Chappelle and some of these other guys where they can speak their mind freely. I'm envious of that.
I think that Elon Musk has been misidentified, right? Like in my purview, my perspective, I think he's like one of the greatest corporate raiders of all time, in the sense of like Elon is not an inventor. Like he hasn't invented things. He's leveraged position and capital. And I think that's the real story of Elon Musk. I think somewhere down the line, we acted like he invented the Tesla technology. We acted like he invented the PayPal technology, the open AI technology. Elon Musk has done an incredible job of leveraging being a coder and getting in position. He got a huge payday off of PayPal. And instead of blowing it like most of his counterparts and enjoying the rest of his life, he started taking over early businesses that had great tech. And we're seeing the results of that. And so now he's isolated himself into a position where he's the star, like he's the shiny object. And I think we're starting to finally see that he's not the genius that we thought he was.
I would still say that he's a genius, but I think one of the things that, if there's anything to look back, he's been great at betting, right? Like he did an excellent job, again, with PayPal, with OpenAI, with Tesla, with SpaceX, right? Like he's been really good at betting and
Bet
moving
the kitchen
things.
sink.
Well, here's one thing we do know. All geniuses throughout history have been what? Misunderstood. And he's no different.
Sometimes you're also just a misunderstood. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of crazy though. So I mean, you can say, he's a genius and he's misunderstood, but I mean, sometimes he just says things and it's like, hey, you shouldn't have done that.
Sometimes you cut off your ear. I mean, that's what happens with genius, right? I don't know to the question. I can't necessarily explain why he did that. It doesn't make sense to me at all. But I'm sure, being a genius, he has a method of why to his madness.
Look at Leon with the Van Gogh reference, man. I see you, man. I know about
culture.
it. I like that.
Culture there,
Yeah, I like it. I like that.
He was there in fourth grade art.
You didn't like my pop culture reference there with the
No. I'm just saying, like, if you actually know about Van Gogh, I don't know if you're there yet, RJ, but if you know about Van Gogh, like the actual, like he was a guy who went crazy. Right? He was a guy who went mad, and it showed in his art. Like his genius showed through his art.
Just making one of those faces yet. You better check, make sure you're not on his naughty list. He's
when I looked at all of RJ's posters, when I looked at all of his posters that he got, like on from Five Below, right?
Sunflowers wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
He's got a serial killer look. He's got a serial killer look. Confirm that for me, Leon. Doesn't he have that serial killer look right now? You study serial killers.
Here's what I'm gonna say. CJ gave a really good answer on this last one, so he's probably going to win. But I do want to point something out, and this is my last-ditch effort to try to steal the point, okay? CJ talked so much this episode, but we're all so proud of you, buddy. You didn't say one time anything about marketing or affordable housing. Congratulations. It's the first time on Barton the Disruption you didn't bring up affordable housing.
By the way, what we did learn is that we need to start doing this show after 8 p.m. Remember in the old days, if you called long distance after 8 p.m., you got it for free.
Now that's the plan I got, bro. That's the plan I got, bro. You got to catch me after 9 p.m., dog.
They don't have fiber in Richmond just quite yet, I guess.
No, we don't, man. We don't.
All right. That was good. Not gonna lie, everybody had a great answer. I love that RJ is coming in with affordable housing. reference there at the end. Like, you know, you made it really hard for me, RJ, to allow you to win this week. You know, so that being said, we're going to give the point to RJ just because he got the last dig in there. That being said, you know, it was a good show. It was a good show today. It was a good show as always. Everybody came with their A game. Love the evil mask comment there, Leon, of Kanye. That's legit right there. All right. It has been a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and do outros. We will start with a champion this week, RJ Bates, this, that, and the third. Go ahead and start out.
Yeah, great episode, guys. Had a lot of fun, except for you, CJ. Don't really care for you that much. On a different serious note, we do have one of our family members here missing in action. In fact, we haven't seen him in months. Eric Brewer. If anybody knows where he is, can you please call 817-710-8689 and let us know where Eric Brewer is? Because none of us have seen him in months. So
should we call the dairy? Milk carton?
Yeah, milk carton. I mean, when was the last time Eric was on a Pardon the Disruption?
It's been a hot minute. It has.
Life.
I don't know if we do milk cartons in York, Pennsylvania. Somebody needs to do some recon on that for us so that we can find our buddy there. All right.
Did you fire Eric and not tell anybody?
Listen, let's focus on the matter at hand.
Yo. All right, Steve, say bye to the people.
Man, great show. Fun as always. Appreciate everyone's comments. And then if you guys are looking to, if you have some extra size 4 boots or some extra Long John Silvers, just send them over to the Titanium. I don't even know what he calls it over there.
Wow.
But check it out. Let's help RJ as best we can. So thank you all. Fun week as always.
Somebody needs to send him one of those, what is it, that anti-choking device. You know, he'll just pull it out of his back pocket. There we go. That's what we need. All right, CJ, say bye to the people.
Bye to the people. Much love. Always a good time with you guys, man. Had a good time. These great questions today. I think a lot of great responses across the board. 7 p.m. tonight, Eastern time. Startflippingdeals.com. Make sure you tune in.
Yo, my wife just said free turkeys, Velveeta, and pumpkin pie for anyone that can locate Eric. Yo. All right, Leon, say bye to the people.
I love that. CJ doesn't do a webinar before 5 p.m. He's got to get it in 3 hours after 8, after 7.
No doubt.
Thankful as always, week following Thanksgiving, to be with each of you and everyone that's watching. I did have proof of life. Usually you prove proof of life with a newspaper. That's how they did it back in the old days. But I will say this, shout out to York. I sent this. I do have proof of life because I sent this to Eric on Sunday. Do you guys know that the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, was in York, PA this past week, looking at inflation and talking to business owners in York? So who knew? York, first capital of the U.S., and apparently right now the hub for the federal government to look at inflation. So shout out to York and EB. And last but not least, I'm going to start ending these shows with my favorite line of the show. And today's favorite line by far easily is shout out to seasoning. That is going to be a t-shirt. Shout out to seasoning. From here on out, we're going to wear it every Thanksgiving. Good being with you guys.
I love it.
Yo, not gonna lie, love that Leon let us know that Powell's in York, Pennsylvania, trying to learn how to do novations from our buddy EB over there. That's great.
The government could use a few novations.
He's gonna novate the White House. No big deal.
Well said.
But yeah, it was a pleasure hosting today. Always good to get back after a holiday. See my 3 friends up there. We hope that all of you enjoyed being here as well. We will see you again next week. Thanks for tuning in with us.